Hello, everybody. I'll wait for a minute or two, see if I get anybody online here. All right, I have one, two. So I'm back here at CSUN. This wasn't planned, but it's on my way back from work. I'm heading home. So, hello, King. Sour Blaze Haze, hello. JW Prime in the house. So I'm here at CSUN, you guys. So I'm just heading back home and decided to swing by the old campus since school is back in. Okay, why can't I zoom back out? And let's try to mess with the JWs for a little bit and see if they'll run away. Hi, JW Suicide, Tiffany, Dave, 007, Don. I'm super rusty. So, the fact that they're here on campus, obviously I'm gonna bring up the fact that they are against higher education and all that. But I haven't been keeping up with New Light, the ever-changing New Light, so I might have old news for them. Hi, Maja. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna try to, let me turn this phone. Yeah, darn it. So I'm not able to turn my phone on its side, so I cannot be that discreet with the phone. I'm sure they will be like, okay, you cannot videotape us, blah, blah, blah. Vinny V's working, all right. Hey, Jack. Tell them you went out in service with the Spanish congregation. Dr. Order, how can I freely forgive them if they won't freely let me? Hey, JT. Yeah, so I'm just here trying to sort of gather my thoughts. I guess I'll be glancing at the comments as I speak. So if you guys have anything you want me to mention, and not anything that's way out there, but something that has to do with higher education and the fact that, they're anti, that would be useful. Because again, I'm super rusty. So here we go. I won't have the runs today. Oh my God. Jehovah's Witnesses. How are you? Good. Is it okay if I get some literature from you and my friends? Are these all Chinese?
Yeah.
Why is it all Chinese?
I went to a Chinese congregation.
Really?
Yeah, I learned Chinese for that reason.
Oh, so there are a lot of Chinese students here, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Were you guys born into the Jehovah's Witness religion?
I was.
You were?
No.
You were not? So are you like a first or second generation?
Um.
I don't think you'll be able to keep this down. It's a little windy today.
Yeah. My dad was a witness, and so was my grandma.
Your dad and your grandma? So you're, I guess, second, maybe, second generation. Yeah, my parents are Jehovah's Witnesses as well. And I was also raised in it. So I don't know if you remember, but the older literatures used to talk about how we don't have to worry about when we graduate from school, not to go to college and all that stuff because the end was so near. Do you remember those? I don't know if they talk about it as much anymore.
Well, I think that it's more of your own decision and what your conscience allows.
Yeah.
If you decide, I know some who have gone to college and
Me too.
it's fine, but it's up to your decision if you would like to or not.
Yeah, those ones though that did go to college, they were sort of like ignoring the admonition. Um, because in the 1968 Awake magazine, it specifically said to set your goals on spiritual things, and that going to college after high school would be a waste of time because the end was so near. I mean, there were a lot of information on that. So yeah, I mean, I knew some people too that went to college, but they were like the exception. For everybody else who paid attention to the information we were getting, we didn't go to college. So I was just curious as to why you're here at a university where it's higher education and your organization doesn't really encourage you folks to get a higher education, go to higher education. Why is that?
They don't condone it either.
They don't condone it.
They don't condone going to higher education if that's your decision.
Why is it that in their literature they keep telling you to stay focused in kingdom interest though? They don't say to get an education and to pursue a career. If you want to be a doctor, oh my goodness. In the Kingdom Hall, they'll be like, are you kidding me? 10 years studying when the new system is so close?
We leave it as a personal decision.
It's a personal decision. If you would like to do that, that's your decision. But, our goal is to serve our God, and
Yeah.
whatever decision each person makes is up to their conscience, and we don't judge them for it.
You don't what? Touch them
We
for it?
don't judge them
Oh,
for it.
judge. Oh, okay. Let me stand over here. The sun is like right in my face. um, but that's interesting because, as you know, even at the conventions, I would always hear, that having a career in the world, won't benefit us in the long run. And that the education that we get from secular people is not what, we should be focused on. So, I mean, are you telling me that that has changed and they encourage people, the young ones, to go to
No.
college after high
I
school?
never said they encourage.
I'm just asking because I know you guys change information from time to time.
No. I didn't say that they encourage them. No.
Okay, what are you saying? It's up to the
It's
individual?
up to the individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not our place to judge people.
Like in my case, like I said, I was born into it. I was strongly discouraged from going to college. I've always had a love for architecture and construction. I thought was going to be an architect. But the elders would encourage me instead to focus on kingdom interests. So after I graduated from high school at 16, so I was super young. But instead they were like, you know what, you should have as your goal going to Bethel, right? Which I did part-time off and on as a construction worker. And then they're like, why don't you set your goals higher and become a ministerial servant? Which I did for 7 years. So what I'm telling you is that outwardly, you guys say, oh yeah, we don't tell people they can't go to college. But when you're a part of the organization and you know it intimately like I do, they strongly discourage you. And if you were to go get an education, if you're a male, they might not want to give you privileges, right? They might not want to make you a ministerial servant or an elder because now you have this critical thinking that you learn from higher education, where the other elders who did not get an education will think that, oh, this guy just wants to question us, he thinks he knows too much, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I mean, my dad is an elder. He's always been an elder since I was born. He never went to high school. He barely finished. I mean, he never went to college. He barely finished high school. So, but yet he's an elder, He's not an educated man. So it just amazes me that you guys would be here at a university when I know fully well that you guys do not support young ones in the Kingdom Hall who go to universities. You don't support them. You casually say, oh, it's up to them. But if they dare do it, it's a different story.
No. We don't judge people.
Have you, how, are you still in high school?
No.
Did you go to college?
No.
No. Are you in high school?
No.
Did you go to college?
I did do a shorter course.
Exactly. 2-year course, right? Like me, a trade school. Because that's what they push, right? Something you can use within the organization. Like with me, it's construction architecture. They use me to the full. I designed Kingdom Halls, did quick builds, all that stuff, you know?
Not necessarily. I did a different course, and I know others who also have chosen to do different courses.
May I ask, what was it?
Are you recording this? Could I ask you?
No, I'm checking my text. Yeah, so what was it?
I chose education, language education, and just courses like that. So I decided to just teach language or teach children.
Oh, that's awesome. But so you see what I mean, right? All three of us here, you were raised in this organization. I was. I have my extended family. None of us went to universities. I mean, it's the exception. If a Jehovah's Witness who was born into this organization, it's an exception for them to actually get a higher education. It really is. And actually, because I have experience working at Brooklyn Bethel, I know for a fact that if they are in need of, let's say, a structural engineer or somebody like that, and there's no one who's qualified for it, the society will actually pay for someone to go to school to get that degree. I mean, don't you think that's a little bit hypocritical?
Well, they've actually decided to stop doing that in the recent years.
They decided to stop doing that in
Yeah,
recent years?
They actually have decided to stop doing that in the recent years.
Oh, really? Was that in a publication or something? Is it on
It
the
was given in a public talk.
given?
Yeah.
Really? So, like, if I was to go on jw.org, I wouldn't find anything.
You would.
You would, yeah.
You would find it.
How would I find that?
It is in the broadcasting.
It was mentioned in the broadcast
Mm-hmm.
that they no longer send anyone to for higher education.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they say why?
Yeah,
Why?
they did say that.
Oh, they didn't, or
They
they?
did.
No, they did say
Yeah.
that.
So why?
If you would like, you can watch it. I think it's from last year, I
Yeah,
believe.
think it was last year. One of last
It was
year's
one of
broadcasts.
last year's broadcasting, and you
Mm.
can learn more about it there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to have to watch the whole thing.
Well, no, it's
Just in a quick, you know.
It's in a segment. I think because they also like break them up too. You should be able to
Yeah.
just find it on the website. And it's
Oh,
Yeah,
so you're not gonna tell me why? Like just a simple, quick answer.
Well,
Like they said this, and that. Huh?
you could see it there if you would like. It explains it much better than we would be able
Yeah.
to.
Oh, it's a pretty complicated explanation.
No, it's
necessarily.
not complicated, but for a clearer answer than we would give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So anyway, are you guys aware of the lawsuits going on though within the organization? They've actually outsourced a lot of the law firms to help them out because they have so much going on. Are you familiar with any?
Well, I am familiar that there are currently lawsuits as with any imperfect religion in this world.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I'm specifically talking about this one.
Yeah.
You're aware?
I don't know the details of it, but we know that they're there, and we don't deny them because we do live in an imperfect world.
Yeah.
So, no religion is going to be perfect in that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. But what if I was to tell you that the organization, because you're right, right? There is no perfect anybody, no perfect organization. But what if I was to tell you that the organization have this rule, which you might have heard of, that even secular authorities say that it's a cruel rule? I mean, have you heard of the two-witness rule? As it relates to child sexual abuse within the organization? You have? You have, right? You're nodding yes. So just to clarify, the two-witness rule says that if somebody was to bring an accusation against another one in the congregation, that the one who was abused has to have another witness or two for the elders to have a judicial committee. So I have a 9-year-old kid, right? So if I'm at the Kingdom Hall and she says, hey, Daddy, that brother was touching me inappropriately or whatever, and I go to the elders, they will ask my daughter if she has another witness or two so that they can bring the accuser to a judicial committee. And if my daughter says, no, I don't have any witness, nobody saw, the elders, what they do is they say, leave it in Jehovah's hands. And so, because of that two-witness rule, in Australia, they had a commission set up to investigate many religions and nonprofits. The Jehovah's Witnesses were one of them. in their investigation, they found out that the Jehovah's Witnesses were the worst of the worst because of this two-witness rule. They found out over 1,006 child abuse cases. Of those, not one was ever reported to the police. And it's funny because I have seen your online broadcast from your governing body member, and he said that yes, they do call the police. But this little card here, if you dare go check, to check on Google, the Australian Royal Commission and Jehovah's Witnesses, it's case number 29. It's documented through the courts. You'll see for yourself that they said that, wow, this was the most flagrant policy that they've seen in any institution. And your own governing body member was there. He was part of this. Jeffrey Jackson, he's your governing body member. Yeah, he was interviewed for it.
Okay.
And what he said was very revealing.
Okay.
I mean, is that something you think you're going to look up?
I don't know.
You don't know? You weren't born into this. You have a chance. Like, I was born, I'm a third generational. I go way back into this organization. I know the entire history. Like, you can ask me just about any question. I even know your new light, okay? Because I know you guys change your understanding, doctrines and stuff. And there's just so much that they're keeping from you guys. It's sad because they use young people like you to push their material, which will change in a year or two or down the road, I mean, the things that I learned as a kid growing up, they've totally gone 180 on us. 1925, millions now living will never die. This was a big campaign that they had in Cedar Point, Ohio. This was, 1925. I mean, all those people are dead and gone, those Jehovah's Witnesses. They were promised that they would never have to grow old and die. That's how I was raised, that I would never have to grow old and die because the end of the system of things was so close. 1975, they predicted that the end would come. And then they say, no, we didn't predict it. You go back and you look at the old literature, any thinking person would agree that, wow, they were heavily leaning toward 1975 as the return of Christ. I mean, I can go on and on and on. So this organization that you guys are representing, there's a whole other side to it that you guys are not aware of, I mean, do you believe anything that I'm saying, or are you just saying that, thinking that, all of this could be just lies or whatever?
Well, I think we each have a different purpose here. And today we came to share information with the Chinese students.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to continue doing today. But thank you for stopping by.
So I've been here, I don't know, a few minutes, but there haven't been one Chinese, anybody actually, showing up. You don't mind chatting with me?
Well,
It's not like if somebody was to come, I would step aside just to be respectful.
actually our shift's almost done too, so we want to wrap this up.
So nothing that I've said means anything to you.
Thank you for your time.
I plead to you. She's a born-in, so like we're hardwired to think a certain way, like I was. So like she would literally die for this, but you have hope. I mean, seriously, I have no reason to lie, My parents are still Jehovah's Witnesses. But they're afraid to look at other information and sources because they think, oh, it's all from Satan. It's apostate-driven lies. But you have to be careful. Whenever one source is telling you that we have the truth, do not look here, there, and everywhere because you'll get confused by Satan's world, then guess what? They can control your thoughts. They can control everything, really, because you accept that the fact that whatever they tell you is the truth, right? I mean, but unfortunately for a person like her, I see myself in her. Because the more you're persecuted in your head, you feel like maybe I'm being persecuted, the more you feel like, oh, I'm standing up for Jehovah. You know what I mean? Like your faith, it almost builds up your faith. And I know this. I know what's going on with her. That's why she's kind of telling me to move on, even though there's nobody around, you know what I mean? Like that's not normal behavior. Like I'm not yelling at you guys. I'm not doing anything inappropriate. I'm just talking. But the fact that she shuts down, it's very, very cult-like.
No.
You don't think so? I mean, am I arguing?
No. we're here for a purpose.
Use and talk about it, which I have done, they tell you that this isn't the time and place for it, right? I try to approach you guys at the carts on my free time when you're sitting, not talking to anyone. You then again say, this isn't the appropriate time for it. I call my own parents and say, hey, guess what I found out? You know, can I share it with you? Oh, is it negative? Is it something negative against the organization? We don't have time for that. So if you think about it, there isn't any good time to talk about this, right? Because you're told not to listen to anybody or any media, anything that is critical of your organization. That's really what it boils down to, if you're being honest.
No.
And I get the feeling that you're following her lead because she's not talking. You're like, okay, I cannot really have a conversation. I mean, seriously, you guys, come on, 1,006 child molesters and not one was called? I mean, not one was referred to the police? You know, I mean, the Watchtower is a worldwide organization, okay? So the policy that they have in Australia, where the government said that this is a cruel and wicked policy, is the same policy you have in your Kingdom Hall. It's the same two-witness rule policy. Have you heard of the Shepherd the Flock of God book? No? So that's a book that only the elders have. It's a policy book. You won't have, well, it's online because it was part of this case, and so it became public information, right? If you were to look on page 72 of that, paragraph 38, you will see what it says about the two-witness rule. And if my little kid was to not have another witness, it says right there, leave it in Jehovah's hands. And that's their policy. They continue to do that. I mean, just recently in one of your broadcasts, your governing body member said that they will never change the two-witness rule. But guess what? If there's nothing else that you remember of what I'm telling you, the Watchtower have a history of changing policies when the government make them, when the government force them. And then they present it to you guys as new light or a new way that the organization is doing something. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is Google, hey, they were Chinese. See, they didn't stop by. All you have to do is Google Jimmy Swaggart, right? Because in the mid-'80s, he had this huge church, and he got into trouble with the state of California for charging for literatures, right? He didn't want to pay taxes, so the state sued him. The Watchtower became friends of the court. In other words, the Watchtower sided with Jimmy Swaggart, this other church, right? Because they, at the time, were selling literature. I grew up selling these for, I think it was a quarter before it went to 50 cents. I don't remember, but it was like a quarter for the most part. And the books were like $1. So that's how I grew up, selling them. So in the mid-'80s, all of a sudden at the meeting, we got new light. We're like, oh, friends, we will no longer be selling our literatures. It will be offered at a donation basis. And the scripture they used was the one that they said, give free, receive free, right? Come to find out years later, in doing my own research, it was because of that Jimmy Swaggart case, right? They did not want to pay taxes, so they decided to do it on a donation basis. And the sinister thing with your organization is not only do you sometimes get money for these, but you guys also give money for these in the Kingdom Hall. So they're getting paid twice. You know, the Watchtower is a business. They don't ever lose. You know, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And if you don't believe that you guys are very cult-like, look at how you are right now. None of this interests you. You don't care, you don't give a damn, you don't give a fuck, right? All you guys are thinking is, please walk away, leave us alone, right? You guys are so young. You guys have access to information. And ooh, we cannot believe everything that we read, and that's true. You know, when I found out that the Watchtower was part of the United Nations for 9 years, I couldn't believe it. Because the Red Book, Revelation book, she will remember, I don't know about you, says that the United Nations was part of the wild beasts. So for the Watchtower to be part of the United Nations as NGO, non-governmental agency, was mind-blowing. So I didn't believe it. Guess what I did? I emailed the United Nations and I asked, hey, was the Watchtower part of you guys' NGO? I got a response, yes, from 1991 to 2000, something like that. Right? So now, oh, this must be true. It's not just an apostate-driven lie. And that's how you do your research, okay? Don't let the Watchtower fool you guys. I spent 35 years in this. 35 years for what? For them to rule my life? For them to be fake people? Because the minute you do something, you go have sex with your boyfriend or you do something bad and they disfellowship you, your friend, quote unquote, will literally not answer her phone anymore. She will not call you. You bump into her on the streets. She will not look at you. That's life. I haven't seen my own parents for 2 years because I chose to walk away once I started learning about all this other stuff. Is that not a cult? Oh no, the Bible says. So the Jehovah's Witnesses are the only one that got that scripture right? Did you know that there was a Watchtower article about disfellowshipping back in the 50s or 60s that condemned the Catholic Church for doing that? Condemned them for disfellowshipping, excommunicating members. Lo and behold, 2 years later, they decided, hey, this is a great way to keep our members under control. We have new light. You know, I can go on and on all day with little things, little tidbits just like that. And how they manipulate you guys. You know? So anyway. So are you guys going to say anything at all or what? You guys are so done with me? Yeah?
We'd like to just continue to.
But there's nobody. That's very cultic. Like, you're not thinking at all. You know, I mean, I just saw this movie. It's called Get Out. You guys are acting like those people, almost zombie-like. It's like, there's no one. If there were like streams of people coming up to you, I would like, okay, let them do their thing and step aside. But I've been here for how many minutes? Not one person have come, you know? And yet you're telling me, let us do our thing, which is to sit here and chat. It's very, very frustrating talking to Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, even though I was born into it and I know you guys inside and out, it's still frustrating because the way you're behaving is not normal. You're just behaving the way you were taught to behave. You know, I never thought that you guys were in a cult. But all the signs indicate that you guys are in a cult. All of the signs. I hope you're recording me so that you can remember what I'm telling you and Google some stuff. I hope that's what you're doing. No? Why are you recording me? I'm curious. Oh, you're not? So if I move over here, let's see. It's just an awkward way to hold your phone. What's that?
I said I'm just holding it.
You're just holding it. So do you have any questions for me? You know? No. So yeah, that tells me that you guys don't give a fuck. You guys don't care. You know, I used to feel sorry for you guys. I used to be super nice when I talk to you guys, but now I'm beyond that, I guess you can say. Beyond it, because unless you already have questions within your own head, something doesn't sit right, either that you hear from the platform or that you've read, unless something doesn't sit right with you in your head, you will never change. You'll end up like her. You know, I don't know how old she is now, but she will grow old, and if she doesn't have a doubt in her head, she will just continue sticking by the truth, the ever-changing truth. And it sucks because I can't even get my own parents to see the sinister ways of Watchtower. That's how hardcore indoctrination is. Hello? Anybody home? Nobody's home. We have an empty house. Zombies. Have you guys seen the movie Get Out? These two reminds me of those the maids or the servants or whatever. Let's see. Take some Chinese literature. You guys want to have a couple of placements today? I can have a couple of Chinese. Yeah?
Well, we prefer that if it's for Chinese people.
It's super easy to translate, Google Translate. No? But you guys don't have anything in English? You guys should have at least 1 or 2 items. No? Okay. Let me look at my comments. Get out. Yeah. You guys left the building a long time ago. Mentally. Is your shift over yet, by the way? No? Alright, they've gone zombie on me. Alright, let's see you guys. So what was the question that Joe asked? I missed that. Hey, where are the elders? Usually whenever I approach 2 sisters, there's an elder off to the side somewhere and they would come and ask you guys to leave. This is interesting because nobody have showed up yet. More watching this. I know, right? God dang, 70 people watching? That's amazing. Somebody said that there's more people watching you two sit here than you guys have in the Kingdom Halls nowadays. You guys barely have anybody going to the Kingdom Halls. That's why you guys keep combining and merging Kingdom Halls, right? Streams of people coming in as Jehovah's Witnesses. Let's see. All right, Joe. I hope you videotape that. Ask them, how old do they think? So how old do you guys think you'll be before the end of the system comes? Have you thought about that? No? I'm trying to talk to these 2 zombies. Wow. You know, this isn't normal at all. I mean, but this is what indoctrination will do to you. Sad. Let's see. Hey, eunuchs from the UK. Any questions for me? Tell them they don't have to be afraid of dying at Armageddon. They don't have to be afraid of questioning how much does fear play in their lives. Are you guys in the Watchtower organization because you're fearful of dying in Armageddon? Because, you know, when I was a kid, I would wake up with nightmares. Whenever there would be a big thunder or something like that, I'd be like, oh no, is this the end? They really traumatized me. And the crazy thing is that if you're on social media, YouTube, you will find thousands of stories just like mine of other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. They're like, they really got messed up by this organization because they put fear in you. I mean, you're never good enough. No matter how much you do, it's not good enough. You got to put in your hours. You got to study. You got to do all these things that the Watchtower men impose on you, not Jesus, because I thought his burden was light. But this is not light. You sitting here for 2 hours or whatever your shift is not light. You going back and studying your Watchtower for Sunday is not light. You know, these things are all human imposed. Right? If Jesus was to come down right now, he would be like so ashamed of all religions, including Watchtower. You know, because the minute you start following men, that's where you go wrong. That's where you go wrong. You guys are too young to be doing this, seriously. Okay, I'm looking at comments again, you guys. You're late too. Oh, it's terrible. Uh-oh, I think they're packing up. These are pretty good. What? All right, my phone just got dark on me and I can't. Were you praying to Jehovah while I was talking? You know, Jehovah never helps anyone. Jehovah helps himself. And in case you're confused, the organization considers themselves as Jehovah. Because if you leave the truth, the first thing they want to know is, oh, you left Jehovah, right? That's what they say. So Google this Australian Royal Commission, okay? A good website is jwfax.com. All right, guys, they're packing up. So this is great. Let's see, what are you guys saying? They lasted longer than most. Yeah, props to them, right, JW Prime? Let's see here. Tell him about my channel. Well, actually, I like JW Facts. You guys need to check out JW Facts, okay? All of the literatures there are from the Watchtower. All right? And your eyes will be open to this sinister cult. Please, please, I beg you, don't waste your time. I mean, people like me, we're not just coming up to you lying, okay? JWFacts.com. Goodbye. Okay. They are out of here. Hopefully they will dream on what I said tonight. Hopefully, Sour Blaze. They really are in darkness. That's right, Duke. I missed your question, Jeff. Yeah, Dr. Order. Follow the teaching of Jesus. Yeah, I think my internet is holding up so far. Thank you, W07. Tell them about my channel. It's okay. I tell them about JW Facts. I actually should tell them about JW Prime's channel. His is a lot more entertaining than mine. What's next? I'm about to head on home. Do you guys have any questions for me before I head out of here and end this live stream? Do I believe Charles Taze Russell was a Zionist? Yes, I do, based on my research. Thank you, Tanny. Thank you, JW Suicide. Speak some Chinese. I know, right? I mean, gosh, I was there for quite a long time and not one person walked up to them. Now look, since the JWs left, we actually have students who can utilize the table over there. Isn't that great? Oh my God. Thanks, Maja. Thanks, Dr. Order. I think he's a 33-degree Freemason. Based on my research, I would say so, yes. Thank you, Bali. Johnny, wow. Do I think Anthony Morris likes it up the ass? He sure seems to be that type. But I don't know for sure. I think Adrian has gone for a burger. What? Okay, you guys, if there's no other question, thanks for tuning in, and sorry that they became zombified, like, I don't know, just a few minutes after me starting talking to them. But that is to be expected. They were super young, you know. Adrian, there's a new governing body member. Yeah, his name is Cook, Kenneth Cook or something like that. That's what I'm hearing. Thank you, Maja. Thank you, Cuckoo, for the truth. Go Patriots. Yeah. Sure. Smooth as a baby's bum, mate. Well done. Thank you, King. I was super rusty, though. I don't know. I must be honest, I'm not like super motivated when I come across sisters or younger sisters. I get really, really fired up if they're a guy or two brothers. And for obvious reasons, you guys know that I don't hold back with the brothers. Take a guess who Ken Cook is replacing. No idea, Mia. Haha, good question, Zedek. But of course, they would not answer that question. They don't answer any questions, actually. I will do that, JW Prime. Speaking of which, Prime, when will we have a new video coming from you? I mean, I love all of your videos. I'm getting better, huh? Okay, if you say so. Let's see. Do I believe in the pre-existence of Christ? Well, I'm an agnostic atheist. I do not believe in any of that. Will you catch up with Kevin? I believe Kevin is doing a cross-country road trip, so he's out of town. If they were to replace my money, would be on Jeffrey Jackson after his debacle. Yeah, but I don't think it's a replacement. I think it's an addition as far as having a new governing body member. All right, JW Prime. He's thinking about diving back in just because of missing the creativity. Making vids was fun. I agree. You really should, man. We can use all the help we can get, and you're one of the best. Johnny, your questions are just, wow, hard hitting. Catch up with Stacy. Stacy's in another state altogether. You're welcome, Prime. Okay, you guys, is that it? I think that's it. I'm spent. Yep, too far. Too far. All the way in Waco, Texas or some shit like that. Can't wait for Vinny hitting the carts. Oh man, I can't either. Vinny, oh my god. He'll make the J-Dubs piss in their pants. Lubbock. They seemed emotionally dead. Yeah, and that's what's so frustrating with talking to them. I mean, they won't even have a conversation like a civil one, you know? No matter what you ask them, no matter what you try to tell them. But I don't know, maybe I just don't have the skill set like some other people to carry on a good conversation. What do I think of John Cedars? I like how you spell Cedars. Was that by design or was that a typo? Yeah, so I've met John Cedars. We met last summer when he was doing his book tour. And yeah, I got up and I asked an uncomfortable question, so I guess they cut it out of their documentary. But yeah, no, I mean, 2 years ago when I was just waking up, I reached out to him and I asked him a couple of questions, and he really made me feel like a retard or whatever. So that was sort of my red flag, and I never really cared for him. But his content is awesome. He definitely have good content, but him as a person, not so much. Tomorrow I'm doing a book burning in front of JW, Kingdom Hall. Jeff, we're in Cali. Maybe I can join you. And by the way, you guys, I will be crashing, I'm hoping, 2 Memorial this Memorial season. So I will try to crash one early and try to run to another Kingdom Hall and crash that one. So we'll see how that goes. If I don't end up in jail before I make it out the first Kingdom Hall. He's an arrogant prick. Well, I suppose that's not me, right, Tanny? You're talking about Cedars. You too, Stacy. All right. I hope more of you guys watching this video will crash a memorial. Like, you don't have to be super loud or anything, but I mean, I would just suggest like maybe drinking the wine, stand up, drinking the wine, and say a couple of sentences, you know, that is dear to your heart, and maybe walk out, and that's it. I have other plans, of course. I like to throw up dust or kick up dust. It could be poison this year. Oh, shit. Yeah, I never thought about that. But I hear that it actually tastes nasty, so I don't know if I really want to drink their wine. maybe I'll just spill some. Yeah, that might be a better idea. I'll spill some on the floor. That's right, JW Prime. I would love for a lot of people to crash, and videotape it and post it. That would be awesome. I mean, come on, this is like the ideal time to crash a Kingdom Hall, right? They have a lot of strangers in the Kingdom Hall. They are excited to impress non-JWs, worldly people, with their fake memorial. What better way to interrupt that? I mean, I can't wait. Yeah, Duke. That's right. I like that. Spillin' for the homies. What? Spill it for the homies. Yeah. I thought you said, Tanny, I thought you said spit in it for the homies. That might work too, just spit in it. Say that you're one of the united ones and drink the wine. Claire. Don't stain the carpet. Yep. Otherwise, they will come and try to bill me for that. Yeah, that might be a good line, JW Prime. I thought this was wine tasting. Okay, all right, you guys, I'm gonna be heading out. This was fun chatting with all of you. And I don't know how enjoyable the chat I had with the two JDums were, but I'll post it anyway. Whatever. Eat the crackers and spit it back out. Oh, I can't wait to see your video doing that, Stacy. That would be great. Give him French wine. It's piss. Good work, good work. Thank you, everybody. All right, this is it. I am saying adios until next time. Peace out.